What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Wright State University Veteran Voices Project. I am Navy veteran and content manager Jeremy Tkach. On behalf of the Veteran Voices Project, we'd like to thank you for watching this interview and to let you know that the best way to support us, and especially the veterans featured on this channel, is to hit that subscribe button. So go ahead, feel free to smash that subscribe button, please hit that like button, and go ahead and comment and share. Again, thank you for watching this important story. Hope you enjoy.
So we are recording the interview of Wayne Massey. This interview is being conducted by David Morse and Katora Edwards from Wright State University's Veteran Voices Project. This interview is being recorded at the Veteran and Military Center in Dayton, Ohio. It is 10:25 a.m. on May 5th, 2017. All right, Wayne. Let's start off with when and where you were born.
Kettering, Ohio.
Kettering, Ohio? When?
8/28/74.
Okay. Who are your parents?
Wayne Sr. and Pam.
What were their occupations?
My dad was a Marine too, so he worked on airplanes, aviation mechanic. My mom was a teacher.
Okay. Do you have any siblings?
Sister.
Sister? Yeah. Older? Younger?
Younger.
Younger sister? She end up going in the military at all? No.
No, she did not.
Okay. All right. So what'd you do before you joined the military?
I was a bum.
Bum.
You like bounce from job to job, and went to college, but I was like too stupid to understand what I was doing there. So then you just like figure out what you want to do. I guess I don't know. A lot of my friends were dying from drugs and stuff, so I was like, let's get out of here.
Right.
And that's how I went to the Marines.
Okay. So
I was older. I was like 25.
you're 25 when you
Yeah,
decided
25 or 26.
Okay.
So I lived a little.
All right. What high school did you go to?
Middletown.
Middletown. Okay. And so you get out of high school, you're bouncing from job to job. So your dad was Marines.
Mm-hmm.
When you got out of high school, did you know you were eventually going to go to the Marines, or was it something that just eventually worked to that point?
I don't know. I was gonna go after high school, and like my girlfriend talked me out of it. Of course. But then I didn't know if I was gonna go to school, and I was too stupid to get good grades, so I was like, I need to do something else.
Okay.
Before it's too late.
Right.
I was in really good shape and single and not married, so no kids. So I was like, perfect.
Sure. Okay, well, so let's talk about your decision to join the Marines. What was the major influence in your decision to join the Marines?
Because they're badass. My dad was a Marine and my uncle. So I was like, he could have like, you know, if I went to the Army or anything else, he'd been like, I'm so proud of you, but you're still a shitbag. So I had to follow in his footsteps, sort of.
Okay. And there was never another thought of any other branch? Okay. That's good.
No.
It's kind of how I was with the Air Force. My dad's dad, they're both Air Force, so it was always Air Force for me. Okay, so you talked to the recruiter for Marines, they get you set up. What year was it that you joined the Marines?
2001.
2001. Was this before September 11th?
June or July.
Okay. And where were you when...
I was just getting ready to graduate boot camp
Oh, wow.
when 9/11 happened.
Wow.
We just ate chow that morning and it was like, all right, get up here now. And we went up there and sat in front of his TV and saw like the World Trade Centers blow up and it was like, nobody really knew what was going on, but we figured it out.
Yeah.
You couldn't come within park with like 50 feet of any buildings or Family Week and all that stuff was almost canceled. And
So you noticed like a complete atmosphere change, environment change there?
yeah, they're like, oh, you're all going to be grunts, you're all going to die.
It's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, Marines are scary sometimes when you don't know what, you haven't been in that long.
All right, so let's talk about it's called boot camp? Where you go to?
Parris Island.
Parris Island? Okay.
Or San Diego.
Which one did you go to?
Parris Island.
Parris Island. How was that?
Lovely.
Tell me a story. Give me an example of lovely.
You know, it was just, I don't know. It was just horrible. It's like a nightmare. Relived over and over every day. You're like, what am I doing here? Where am I? You know, on this island in South Carolina. It wasn't too bad. I got to the rifle range and shot, I think I shot sharpshooter. Maybe I shot expert. I don't remember. But I remember the red ants was probably the worst part. Because you get up and go stretch, and then you're trying to scratch, and you're like, quit scratching. Couldn't do anything. You couldn't look around, couldn't talk, you couldn't scratch, you couldn't do anything.
Wow.
It was horrible.
Intense. Did you guys do like a lot of ruck marches or anything like that?
No, but we ran a lot.
Ran? Okay.
Had to run a mile and a half in like, I think under 13 minutes, or 13 minutes, or 13:30 or something, just to go to boot camp.
Oh. It's crazy.
But then you have to do 3 miles, like 18 minutes, so 3 miles like perfect. Score for point wise, like you get, there's 300 points possible for perfect. You do crunches, pull-ups, and run time. You do 20 pull-ups and 100 crunches, like 2 minutes.
Was there any instructors that stood out to you?
All of them.
How did they stand out?
One of my drill instructors, his name was Staff Sergeant Tidwell, I think. He was just like, he'd always lower his like hat real low so you could like see just the bottoms of his eyes, just barely. And they'd always lower the head when they were laughing, and which they did a lot. But he just, I don't know. He was honest to a point. He was like the only one I could really talk to. But not that you could talk to any of them about anything because they'd just say, shut the fuck up. so I don't really care. But
So, how long was your boot camp?
sorry,
Okay.
13 weeks.
13 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, where did you go from there?
Oh, you go to MCT, which is in North Carolina, for like 3 weeks.
What is MCT?
It's like Marine combat training.
Okay. Marine
And like throw a grenade for the first time and shoot machine guns.
Wow. Okay. So is this MCT? Is this where every Marine goes, or is this like
If you're not
particular
infantry,
to your-
if you're not a grunt,
Okay.
a grunts go to SOI, School of Infantry.
Okay. So this is particular to your MOS at this point.
Yeah, if you're not a grunt, everyone else goes to MCT. Grunts go to SOI.
Okay. So describe to me basically what your MOS was.
Artillery,
Artillery.
0811.
All right. And so you handled all different kinds of artillery, or were you specific to a certain kind?
Howitzer. Shot a howitzer.
Okay.
Like 16,000 pound gun.
Jeez.
Every round was like 100 pounds.
Wow. The round itself. Wow.
It was about this tall,
Dang.
off the ground. You literally had to pick it up, put it on this tray, and ram it in. Like it was heavy as hell. When our guns broke down, you had to take like 200 or 300 rounds from one gun to another gun. It's like 300 yards away. It was a nightmare. But I carried one here and one here. And I didn't even weigh 200 pounds at that time. It's like 180. It's probably when my back's jacked up.
Yeah. Getting a good workout though.
I was strong. I could bench like 410. That was huge.
Yeah.
And I lost it all when I started running like marathons. I ran 2 Marine Corps marathons when I was in Virginia or Quantico.
Okay.
2 Marine Corps marathons.
Well, that's cool. What got you into running marathons?
Someone was like, "Hey, you want a ticket to this?" I'm like, what? Like, you want a ticket to Marine Corps marathon? I'm like, how far is that? It's like 26.2. I'm like, what? Feet? Like miles? I'm like, whoa. It's like, I don't know. But I did it, man. I trained in like 3 or 4 months. From like 3 to 5 miles running to like 26. So it was a huge thing to do, but it's like whatever. I was at Quantico and they let me train at the time to do it. There's nothing there to do really. Except to train officers, that's all we did there. So when we go to the field, we shoot artillery for officers for training.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. So you get you're doing your MCT training. How long was your MCT training?
3 weeks.
3 or just 3 weeks? Okay, and during your MCT training, did you learn all different types of munitions, or were you just learning the one particular one?
You got to like see like the 50 cal, the Mark 19, 240 Golf, saw, door grenade. That was about it. I didn't get to shoot any of them.
Okay.
It was like we were done with boot camp at that point, so we're like Marines. But we didn't like have any responsibility or anything. I mean, other than like maybe fire teams or something, squad leaders.
Okay.
If we're in the barracks or whatever. Marching the chow.
Describe to me chow in MCT. How was chow?
It was all right. Mostly it was like bag lunches or MREs.
Nice. You guys didn't get the full pancake breakfast.
What? We weren't in the Air Force, sorry. These are combat conditions.
Right.
I don't get to go to Denny's, eat waffles and pancakes.
Oh boy.
We learned how to eat MREs.
All right, so 3 weeks, get done with your MCT training. Where do you go from there?
I got like a week of leave, so I went home and then went to my school was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Okay.
It was an Army base. Everything was Army. But we had like Marine Corps instructors, like staff NCOs and stuff at the schoolhouse.
Okay. Let's talk about the week you went back home. Real quick. You know, what was your dad's feelings or your family's feelings about you joining the Marines?
I don't know. My dad was like cool. My mom was like, "Are you crazy?"
Did you stay in contact with them throughout your boot camp and MCT?
Yeah, when I could. They came to my graduation from boot camp, but then I was stationed in California, so from Fort Sill I went to 29 Palms. That's so far away from Ohio.
Right. All right, so let's pick up from there. What did you start doing at your first duty? Like, what was your job there?
Artillery.
Artillery.
Go to the field.
Day to day.
You go to the field and you shoot artillery. When we have a field up, if not, you just clean the gear, paint it, maintain it, do maintenance on other stuff, help other units or like motor T supply or whatever if they need help. We don't have nothing to do. We'll go help them. Boot life.
What was it? What was it like being in? No, this is in California, right? What was it like being in California?
It was pretty cool. It never rained. Ever. It was a desert. And I got there at night, so when I woke up in the morning, I was like, where the hell am I? Because I'd never been there, so I was like, it was weird.
It's weird. Yeah.
Because I was older, the first 2 weeks I got there, I was in a room with two other guys that were older, and they had hard alcohol, like hard liquor, which isn't allowed in the barracks, but they had it in their wall locker, and they left their wall locker open. And so I got a page 11 after my first 2 weeks in the fleet.
Yeah, describe to me page 11.
Just like paperwork.
It's like reprimand or something like that. Yeah.
So that was my introduction to the fleet.
Oh man. So you met some. Now this was within your room. So the couple guys you stayed with. Now where did you? When you were in basic and MCT training, did you guys build units then and go together, or was it once you got to your first duty? That's when you built your. Units?
Yeah. No, everybody's like all different when you go to boot camp.
Okay.
You just have to graduate and then you go to MCT and then go to your whatever MOS or school you were supposed to go to.
Okay.
You go after there.
All right. And so you're in California. What were you doing for fun? Like what was some of the recreational things you were doing out there?
Drink.
What you got in trouble for?
I didn't. It wasn't my stuff, but
Right. Yeah.
I was responsible in just drinking the burgers.
Yeah.
I didn't have a car, so it was like Joshua Tree was out here, and there's Palm Springs, and LA was a couple hours away.
That's cool. Did you meet some friends out there?
Well, yeah, but I just stayed in the barracks. So I came back from Okinawa. I got a car. I was in Okinawa for a year. That was my first deployment.
Okay.
So I was in the fleet about 5 months before I went to Okinawa. No, about 7 or 8. But we were there for 11 and like almost 12 months.
Wow.
Because we got extended, I think, for like South Korea or something, North Korea. So back in 2002,
Okay, so
this
this
was
is
a while ago.
2002. You got orders to Okinawa. All right. And what was Okinawa like?
Small and dirty and crowded. Was all right. We didn't shoot artillery on Okinawa. We had to go to mainland Japan, Fuji. We shot artillery at Mount Fuji,
Cool.
at the base of the mountain.
Yeah.
I snowboarded down the mountain twice too. So when we got done, went to Tokyo a couple times for Liberty.
That's pretty cool.
It was fun. It was more expensive there than the dollar, the pound, whatever it was. Forget the conversion. But at the time, like, they were spending like almost $10 a beer. It was nuts. It was fun. I miss the people in the Marine Corps, not so much the Marine Corps.
Yeah, I can understand that. So you're in Okinawa now. What year was this? You said 2002. You're in Okinawa and you're there for 12 months.
Yeah, it was like August 2002 to July 2003.
Okay. And I mean, you're still doing. Is the job pretty much the same from California to Okinawa?
Artillery, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing really changes.
No, when we came back in July, I think you're supposed to be back in the States for like at least 9 months to a year before you can deploy again. But we were only back like 7 or 8 months before we deployed again. So we got like extra combat leave days or something, I don't know. But we came back in July of 2003, then went to Iraq February 2004. So
Let's talk about when you came back real quick. When you came back to California. And how was that? Were you well received coming back?
yeah. We went to go shoot artillery at this island called Hokkaido. And they didn't want us there, and the paparazzi was there, like, go, Marines, go home, leave, whatever, because it was like rich, really, really rich farmland that we were shooting artillery on. So they didn't like us.
And where was this?
This it was in Japan. It was this island called Hokkaido.
Hokkaido? Okay. And this is right before you left?
This was right, yeah, right after that. Well, this was sometime during our year deployment there.
Okay.
Went to Fuji twice. Yasubetsu, another horrible place. And then this Hokkaido. Maybe that's where Yasubetsu was, I don't remember. But it rained the whole time. Like the fat rain, the sideways rain, up in your face stinging rain. Like in Forrest Gump. Yeah, that kind of rain. Every kind you can imagine. When I came back from Max Chow, like I was like, oh sweet, now I can eat, and my food was just floating around in this pool of water. I'm like, just give me that, I'm hungry. It was horrible.
No, did you guys have barracks that you stayed in, or were you in tents? Or
What?
where were you guys staying in?
Just dirt, wherever we could find, cots, the back of the truck.
Wow.
Yeah. So That's part of the reason why you hate the Marine Corps, but it makes you stronger or it breaks you. Either get stronger or you lose your mind. Because of the field. Field sucks.
Yeah.
Because we'd be out there for 3 weeks to a month and a half. My first catch in 29 pounds was 45 days straight in the field. No leaving, nothing. No showers.
So, what'd you do to like pass the time while you're in the field? Like, how did you?
Probably the same thing every other branch does, make fun of everybody else. Crack jokes.
Yeah.
Make fun of everyone else.
That's
Make fun of their last name or whatever.
just anything you could do, huh?
Yeah. Whatever we could do to laugh.
No, sure. Did you guys have any games or anything?
We made up games.
Yeah.
They were stupid, but they were fun.
Give me a game. A clean one.
This one game was, we're like, well, I'm going to go on a picnic and I'm going to bring, such and such item. What are you going to bring? And they'd say something like, you can't come. And eventually, they either figured it out or they didn't figure out what the game was. But, my last name is Massey. So, I'm going to a picnic and I'm going to bring moonshine. I'm going to bring maple syrup or anything that starts with M.
Yeah.
And people couldn't figure that out. Or they did eventually. So we just, mess with people.
Just a little game like that. Okay. That's cool. Alright, so you're back in California. You said you were in California for how long before you deployed to Iraq?
Like 7 or 8 months, maybe.
7 or 8 months. And it was Iraq or Afghanistan? I'm sorry.
Iraq.
Iraq, okay. 7 or 8 months. What'd you do for those 7 to 8 months? Did you get some leave time? Were you able to?
I was home for like a month.
Home for a month, yeah.
Drank a lot. And that was about it. Just hung out with my family.
Yeah.
It's typical stuff.
That's cool.
I think I wore my blues to church once. But I don't go to church anymore. I'm a cynic.
Yeah. What'd you do? You just, when you were at home, did you connect with any old friends from high school or?
No, they were all losers. So I don't really have any point to contact any of them.
Okay.
There's like 1 or 2 people I talked to. That was about it. I wasn't like traditional, go straight from there out of high school, so they were all over the place at that point, so I didn't really have any friends that were still around.
Okay.
Just didn't bother me.
Right.
Makes active duty a lot easier.
Sure.
Because that's what you always pine after is people back home or some chick. I just want to get out, go hang out with my girl. No. You're going to shoot artillery and you're going to like it. It was alright. I didn't really have... I just hung out with family a lot. Cousins and stuff like that. I have a pretty big family, so...
That's good. Yeah. All right. So, let's talk about your first deployment, I guess your second deployment, right? At this point, you're going to Iraq.
Yeah, I went to Iraq again. Okinawa was my first deployment.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to Iraq.
Right. So. Yeah.
Then I went to Iraq again.
Okay.
Then Afghanistan.
All right. So let's talk about the first time going to Iraq. What year was this that you're going to Iraq the first time?
It was February 2004.
February 2004. All right.
It was cold. It was like desert weather there. Like the same weather that was in 21 Palms, pretty much that was there. So it was like rainy, I think, when we got there. It was a little bit cold. Our missions were cold.
And what part of Iraq did you deploy to?
We were at this place called Junction City. It was just past Fallujah, but it was like catty-corner to this other base called Blue Diamond. I don't know what they did there, but it was really small. That was where we were stationed, was Junction City. And it was down from Fallujah, and then Abu Ghraib was a little bit past that. We used to go there like 3 or 4 times a week, getting prisoners and drop them off. A lot of night missions. Right before we got there, like 50 feet from where we slept in this tent, like we were told that like a couple mortars hit right in the middle of a CB after action brief. Like 15 Navy dudes just died like that.
From what?
From like 50 feet from where we slept, they were having an after actions brief.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, like 2 or 3 mortars hit and fucking killed like 15
Right there.
CBs right there.
Wow.
We had a lot of mortars hit our base. Like you're eating breakfast and fucking base is shaking, mortar hitting. You get used to it after a while. Sleep right through it. You're like, what? Yeah, you get used to anything.
When
So it was pretty morbid from the first time we got there. From like, it got better, but when you first get there, it's like the first shock is like kind of just like shakes you, and you're like nervous, and then it takes a couple weeks, and you're like, whatever.
So were you dealing mainly with indirect fire, or did you actually?
I didn't shoot artillery when we went there. We were convoy ops.
Convoy ops, okay.
We basically escorted gas trucks from wherever they were going to wherever they were going. So it'd start off like 80 or 90 and end up with like 30 trucks.
Wow.
They would sell it like on the black market or do whatever, or leave or journey out or whatever.
Mm.
We found this one cat in our fob with a cell phone at the time. Like technology wasn't the greatest back then, but he was giving people outside grid coordinates to inside the base. And that's where mortars were coming in. That's how mortars were coming in. So they would shoot them off the back of their trucks or whatever, then drive away. So they weren't real accurate, but
How long were you in Iraq the first time?
7 months.
7 months. Okay. And did
We first got to Kuwait, then drove a convoy up to where we were. It was about 20 or 30 miles from Baghdad. And we went through Kuwait, went through this little strip of highway called the Highway to Hell. And it's got like all these artillery pieces, tubes bent, and old trucks, and it's like a graveyard for just like military trucks and artillery pieces. And we're like riding in this bus that has like these shades that are just barely there. That's night. We're like have our rifle with us, and that's about it. It was freaky.
Did you ever have to fire your rifle the first time in Iraq?
Well, when we got action, I was on the 240, so I had some belt-fed happiness. 200. I think I shot like 400 rounds. Went through 2 belts.
Was this in one sitting?
In one car ride, yeah.
In one car.
Going by Fallujah.
Yeah.
It was pretty nuts. That's when we got our combat action. was scary, but it was freaky, and it was like adrenaline all wrapped up into one. So it was like you don't know what to think or do or say.
How do you? I mean, I'm not a combat vet myself, and I only hear these stories. But I mean, I know you can't fire unless you're fired upon, and so how do you know? How do you know exactly where your enemy is? Like, does somebody communicate that to you, or did you see?
I mean, before every so often we get like REs, rules of engagement, from like the S2 lieutenants, intelligence guys, because they were always changing. Like we could shoot dogs and stuff at first, and then you had to make positive ID before you could shoot somebody. But on convoys, if you're getting shot at, you have to get shot at first. So I was just kind of sitting up there. We're driving by, and I heard some shots go off, and I felt someone tap my leg like, fire! And I like pulled the charging handle back, and it got caught on some linkage, and I didn't know what to do, so I tried to karate chop it, and like my hand was bloody, and I did do it, but then I pulled it back because it fires from open bolt. I pulled the charging handle back and just like 200 round burst. Then I pulled that one out, got the other one up there and put that on, and went again, another 200 rounds. It was nuts.
Just firing in the general area.
Well, it was in the city, and we were driving by it like, I don't know, it's like 50 or 60 miles an hour, so you don't know how accurate it is, but the guy behind me was on a 50 cal. All I could hear was doo, 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 doo. It's super fucking loud. And like another guy has like a Mark 19 and shooting grenades out his window. All I know is what I was shooting at, and I went through about 400 rounds shooting. Sprayed a building down, or I think I did. But the adrenaline from that was so nuts. Like you can't do nothing. You can't sleep. I could eat, but that was about it.
How long did it take before you finally calmed down?
About 3 days.
Wow.
I get used to it. I mean, it's like anything else. It's like weird at first, and then you get used to it, and it becomes normal. We'd go to breakfast and eat before we go on a mission or do whatever that day. We had a mission that night. And we'd be sitting there eating our cereal at the chow hall, and like you could hear like the base would shake and rocks would shoot up against the side of the chow hall. Like all the army dudes would fall under the table, and the Marines would just we're still eating. So you could tell like there was a difference. I think they got hit more because they're soft, but that's just my opinion.
Well, all right, so you said first deployment to Iraq was 7 months, right? And then you go back to California?
Yeah.
How did it feel going back home?
About 9 months after that, I was supposed to get out. Well, when we came back, it was like cool. Came into some Air Force base in California. March Air Force Base. Can't remember. I think that's what it is, March. I think it's like near San Diego, or maybe it's up further. I don't remember. Maybe in San Bernardino. But it was right on the coast. Some Air Force Base. And it was, everyone there could have got like a free membership to the VFW, so I signed up for that for a year. I think I only went there once, got my dad drunk, and he was stumbling. It's like, no wonder people love Captain Cook. But it was cool. the month I was home after that. So I was supposed to get out that next July. And then I re-enlisted and went to Quantico, Virginia.
What made you decide to re-enlist?
It was 2005, and I was like, what else am I going to do? The economy sucked, and it's like, whatever, I'll just stay in. Go to Quantico. One of my staff NCOs talked me into it. He was like, it's cool, you don't deploy, you just stay there for like 2 or 3 years and shoot artillery for the officers. And
Okay.
so that was about it.
So, re-enlist, and then you said you went to Quantico, Virginia, right? And what was that like?
Laid back. It's kind of like being, almost like being a reservist. But you go to work every day, but you don't deploy. There's no like field ops where you have to stay all night. You go to the field for weeks on end, so it's kind of like a relaxed period. That's where you go for a second duty station. You can't go there the first term. It's like a second term thing. But it was cool. Virginia's not bad. 95 sucks. The highway there sucks bad. 95 is, because DC, then Quantico, and then it's like Fredericksburg, and
It's all right there.
yeah, it gets way expensive, and then a lot less expensive the further south you go. So Quantico was all right.
What rank were you?
I was when I first got to Quantico, I was a lance corporal. Then I picked up corporal like right after I got there. Then the year after that, I picked up sergeant.
Okay.
So
That's nice. So, was it easier once you were out there to make rank?
it's never easy in the Marine Corps to make rank.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, I hear it's in the Marine Corps. It's like the hardest place to make rank.
It wasn't easier, but it was. There was a lot more downtime. Like I had a second job, and I don't care about stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's basically all officer based. All I care about is officers there. If you're enlisted, they're like, whatever.
So, how long were you in Virginia?
It's not quite 3 years. It was like February of 2005 to August 2007. Then I went to Camp Lejeune.
Camp Lejeune. What was Camp Lejeune like?
I was in 310 there, Kilo Battery 310.
And what's that?
It's just one of the battalions.
Okay.
Shoots artillery.
Shoots artillery. Did you change, or were you on the same artillery?
What?
So, were you on the munitions that you were using?
That's the same.
It's the same throughout.
But we changed guns from the 908 to the 777s.
Okay.
So the gun was different by that time, and they were basically like 6,000 or 7,000 pounds lighter. It was digital, so it had like digital sights, digital everything, digital readings.
So it was like an upgrade, basically.
Yeah, it was designed so the Osprey could carry it.
Nice.
But it couldn't carry the crew and the ammo at the same time. So you had to have it all separate, like the gun on one thing and the crew and the ammo and gear on another.
The ammo still weighed the same.
Yeah.
I'm assuming 100
Yeah.
pounds still.
Yeah, so I get there in 2007. Then I think, not sure what month it was in 2008, but we went to Iraq again. And I was at an RDF that time, a regional detention facility. We babysat terrorists for 7 months.
Okay. How was that?
It was alright. Had to learn how to speak Pashtun or something. You had to like communicate with the detainees, and that was basically it. We just babysat them. They brought them to us for 15 days and then left. Went to Cropper, or that place in Baghdad. It's called Cropper.
Now, what was, I mean, while you were, what was your like specific job? Where, I mean, were you like doing guard duty there, or were you?
At first, I ended up being like just a maintenance dude because of whatever. So I didn't work like a regular shift like the rest of the people. So I'd wake up in the morning and do like maintenance around the facility, whatever needed to be fixed or like repaired or whatever. That's what I did
Okay.
for pretty much the whole deployment. We were in Fallujah, RDF, and then through the middle of the deployment went to Ramadi. That's what Junction City is, Ramadi. Then we went there. I did the same thing. But I got sent ahead because we had to get the barracks ready for the rest of the battalion, half of the battalion to get there. So we went there and set everything up, and then they came and we started doing RDF stuff there. So.
And did you guys see much mortar attacks or anything like that at your RDFs, or?
Not really.
No.
It was pretty quiet for the most part. We walked around with, like our flags off. And I think we always had, most of the time we had our weapons with us. Sometimes we didn't, but that was a big thing, that knowing where your weapon is.
Yeah. What were you carrying? Were you carrying like a 9 or?
I think I had a A4.
An A4.
Just an M16 shorter.
Mm-hmm. So how long was that deployment then?
7 months.
That one was 7 months as well. Is that what you guys typically do? Is like 7 months rotations? Okay. So 7 months for that. Now, during these times in Iraq, like, what is your typical shift hours? Like, is it 12 hours?
It just depends on the mission, what we have to do. One time, the first time in Iraq, we had an 18-hour mission. We brought a crane back from Kuwait to Baghdad. It took 18 hours because of all the security halts and stuff like that. It was horrible.
And then how much time do you get to rest?
Maybe a day.
Free time.
Maybe a day.
And then do you get to
maybe.
Do you get to do anything like on your own free time?
Work out.
Work out.
I was working out a lot. That's when I was benching like 410. That was huge. And like, there's a little PX you could buy like supplements and stuff there. I was taking like Celtec and this other junk, and like it really helped, but there's nothing else to do. Work out and sleep. Or eat chow. Or get care packages from your family. With baby wipes or whatever.
Did you get very many care packages?
No.
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 Did you stay in contact with your family?
Occasionally. I wrote them letters a lot and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a phone card, I would call them occasionally. See how they're doing. I think... Yeah, it wasn't until I went to Afghanistan where I had to use the sat phone. So you're like really just out there by ourselves in this little thing.
Well, so let's go. You did your 7 months in Iraq the second time. How long were you then back home?
Well, when I came back, I'm trying to think. If it was with a different unit. I think I was with the same unit with Kilo 310. I can't remember. I'd have to look. But I think it was the same unit. It was about not a year. Then we got orders to Afghanistan. So I was there from like maybe March or April 2009 to the end of 2009, I want to say. I'd have to look at the dates, I don't remember.
Okay.
But it was before 2010.
That you got
Well, wait,
orders?
it was, okay, my bad. We went November 4th of 2009 and got back to Lejeune in June 1st, 2010.
Okay. So June 1st, 2010, you're back in Lejeune from Iraq.
Afghanistan.
Or from Afghanistan. Oh, okay.
And we shot artillery that time.
Oh, did you? In Afghanistan. Okay. So, what part of Afghanistan did you deploy to?
I think it was called the Helmand Province.
Helmand Province.
It was in the southern part. There was no mountains. Where we were, it was just all flat desert.
What was that one like?
It was a lot. It was probably the best one because I actually got to shoot artillery. So, but that's when I got hurt because my back went out.
Yeah.
But
Tell me about that story.
we were going to Marja to shoot artillery to destroy the city, basically, and support grunts. Like that's what artillery does. The grunts go in, or they stay back, and then we destroy a city, like decimate it, and then they go in and clean up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to Marja. This was like a major operation in Afghanistan at the time. We got there that night, and like I was jumping off the gun. I'd done 5 billion times, and it was night, and I couldn't see the ground, and it was uneven, and my ankle just gave out, and my knees went bam. My back had all my gear on, the flak, weapon, Kevlar, everything, and it just from all the weight just cracked my back. Like I don't know. I ended up getting retired for it, but that was like the turning point in my career because that was when I couldn't do the same physical things that I could before. I could, but it hurt a lot more.
Yeah.
So I was like, give me some Motrin, give me something, give me some whatever you got, Doc. He's like, did you change your socks? Did you drink water? I think because I didn't change my socks, it still hurts, so. And, Motrin is like United States Motor Consumers, USMC.
Yeah.
I think that's where they got the name from.
Huh. They gave it to us in the Air Force too. Yeah, we called it Vitamin M.
But after that, I finished the deployment. Like, I had to do McMap training and advance the next belt, which I did, but it hurt. And, had this, we did McMap training in Marja. Like, the enemy's sitting right there, like 500 yards away. We're doing martial arts training. Good times. I had to wrestle. We had these 2-minute bouts. For 2 minutes, I had to, balls to the wall wrestle these, I think 12 or 13 different guys. I've never been so tired, but I don't know. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a lot of good times. But I got out. Well, when we came back from that deployment, I went recruiting. Got orders to go recruiting. while I was deployed to Afghanistan, I talked to the monitor and got orders to go recruiting when I came back.
Nice.
So I went recruiting when I came back from Afghanistan in Baltimore, Maryland. Annapolis area, Baltimore.
Now, how long were you recruiting?
Well, I was married at the time, and I didn't finish the whole 3 years of recruiting. She did some bad things, got me kicked off recruiting, but that was pretty much the end. Then I got transferred to another battalion, 210, and then I was on med board, just waiting to get out.
And what year was this?
2011, 12. It's probably 12. I was on med board for a long time.
Okay.
And I got out May 30th, 2013. My last day of active duty.
And how'd you feel about getting out?
They asked me if I wanted to like get out, and I was like, yeah. They're like, if you could stay in but do a different job, like, would you stay in? I was like, no. Because I mean, that's part of being a Marine, is like doing all the things that you're expected to do, regardless. Like run, punches, do pull-ups, and then they had this thing when I got out called the, I can't remember what it's called right now. But it's like more stuff with ammo cans, and it's like combat training, CFT, I guess, combat fitness test. And like I couldn't have done any of that because you got a buddy drag and low crawl, and it just made my back hurt watching it. So I wanted to get out, but I didn't at the same time. But I guess I did my time. So.
There you
And I'm in school,
go. Now you're in school.
about to graduate.
What are you taking in school right now?
Social work.
Social work. What made you decide to take social work?
I went to a vet center to like seek help for counseling and stuff, to like maybe help with like my divorce from my ex and stuff, and dealing with all that drama. It kind of just helped me, and then during that time I found out while I was going to school for accounting, and I hate math, so that's not a good job for me to do. And I found out that through social work you could go into counseling, and I did a lot of research and basically just found out that through social work, and then I could get my master's and go work at a vet center and counsel vets, which is what I eventually really want to do. Because I'm a veteran, so I mean, and I've been to combat, so I figure I could help them tremendously, because any kind of event that somebody's in, someone's going to open up or talk to someone more if they've been through that experience or know what they're talking about than someone that has no idea.
Sure.
So
That's good.
that's what I want to do, is give back, sort of, I guess, in the mental health field.
You said you were in, you did join the VFW at one point. Are you still a current member?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it ran out.
Are you a part of any other veteran organizations?
I lived up north in Slime, and there was nothing there really, and I'm down here, and I'm just concentrating on school, so I'm taking care of a little girl, so I don't really have time for much else. It's not about me anymore, it's about her.
Sure.
So it's school and her.
How old is your little girl?
7.
7 years old.
She was born on the Marine Corps birthday, actually, November 10th, 2009. And I was in Afghanistan when it happened, and my first son was like, "Hey, Master, get over here." Mike. Yes, for son, was like, "Congratulations, you're a father." I say it so nicely. And that's when I found out that she was born. So when I was in Afghanistan, she was born on November 10th.
That make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, but it didn't last long because we were at Camp Leatherneck, like transition periods. So we hadn't shot out to our fob yet, our actual place. So I was like happy for like a minute, and then they're like, "Put your shit on, leave it." But like, I guess they got really cool with technology. So like the chaplain and stuff would come by, and I could read like child stories, and they would record it, and then send it to her like on a disc, so she could watch it and know who I was. So when I came back, she would be like, come back to a 7-month-old like, "Hi, I've never seen you before, but your father." So I know it's got to be weird for her.
Right.
She probably doesn't remember, but
So, your military experience, what do you think you've gained from your military experience the most that you've now applied in your life?
just drive, like a determination, like a mindset to not give up. That's why I'm in school now. Both my parents are like, "We never thought you could do it. We never thought you were that smart." I'm like, "I didn't either, but I just, you do the work and do what you need to do, and it just prepares you, I think, better mentally."
Yeah.
To like handle school or anything else.
What are your thoughts on military in general?
It's pretty good. I mean, I don't regret anything I did in the military. I would do it again if I had a chance. Probably would enlist right after high school though this time, because I was always called the grand old man. But it was a good experience. Luckily, when I was there in Afghanistan the first time, my sergeant major was with us in Iraq the second time I went, and lost like a finger or index finger or something to a mine roller. I don't know how that happened. But then the first month we were in Afghanistan, he went on a mission with some grunts, which he didn't tell Sergeant Major no, because he was a grunt. So I just wanted to go and see whatever, and he gets his legs blown off. So his name was Sergeant Major Mackey. So we were there this was 2 days after Christmas. We got there in November, middle of November, and he'd already got his legs blown off. And we're like, fuck, what's going to happen to us? Because they were like, Sergeant's above the Exos pit, and we were on our guns at that point, artillery. So we get our shit on and walk down to the Exos pit. That's where the officers and stuff hang out, FDC and the Forward Direction Center. That's what FDC is, but they have computers and other crap so they can speak to command posts and the division and whatever else and get orders. But we went down there and that's when they told us, and we were like, shit. Like, if Sergeant Major gets his legs blown off, what's going to happen to us?
Right.
But he was waiting there for us when we got back from Afghanistan.
Was it good to see him?
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's one of those guys from the old Corps, way back. He'd been in, I think he was in almost 30 years. And this was his last deployment.
Now, do you stay in contact with him or any other?
I still have contact with him on Facebook. See pictures of him and stuff all the time. And if you talk to him on the phone, or you met him and didn't know what happened, you would never know. He would never let you know. Mood wise, what happened, or he doesn't let it affect him, which is really hard thing to like overcome and do, but I heard he was at the Bethesda or what's that other?
E3.
There's another hospital there somewhere where like vets went that were like jacked up or injured. Walter Reed.
Yeah, I think so.
And he was like busting their balls. That's just the kind of guy he was. Like he wore his blouse with like no shirt on underneath it and just chest hair sticking out. Just one of those guys. He's cool though. He still lives in North Carolina, I think in Richlands. My take, like when I was recruiting, I didn't really like recruiting, but it's what you had to do to retire from the Marine Corps after 20 years. So I was there to pick up Staff Sergeant, hopefully, which I didn't do, but that was probably the hardest job I think that I had in the Marine Corps is being a recruiter. Because the school was 9 weeks and it was public speaking the whole time. Like, we did like 15 different speeches. It was nuts.
Jeez.
So like public speaking today is nothing.
You got it down now.
Yeah, they drill it into you or they kick you out. They're like, if you can't handle it, you have like 2 speeches. And they're like, if we don't like either one of these, then you're out. And they're like on the spot. Like they give you 2 minutes to prep. And you have to be within like 15 seconds over or under the time.
Wow. So just closing up here, what's a message that you would give future generations that would, I don't know, describe either your story or you want to just relay to them?
Don't be scared of the military. It's not a bad place. If you go to any branch, go to the Marine Corps and stay out of trouble.
That's good.
I guess. It's easy to get in trouble, but it's harder to stay out, I think, than it is to get into trouble. I was clean the whole time. I didn't do anything bad, really, besides drink. Had people get out for coke and other stuff. I'm like, really? You're home for 30 days. You got busted for coke. And it's out of your system in 2 or 3 days. Come on, dude. It was like 18 or 19. Like, really, you just ruined your life. So I'll just say, be smart. Do the right thing.
Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you feel that you need to share?
Yeah, if you're in the military, don't get married while you're in the military. Wait till you get out. That's some more advice, probably. That would make life a lot easier for people. Don't get married while you're in the military. Wait till you're out. Okay, how much more they pay you? It's not worth the headache.
All right. Well, this concludes our interview, Wayne.
Awesome.
Thank you for telling your story and thank you for your service, sir.
Yes, sir.